In addition to understanding how an asset might be used in an ad, these asset field types are also extremely important because of the critical role they play in the asset requirements and specifications you must adhere to when creating asset groups. Each asset group must contain a specific number of each asset field type, and each asset of a given field type is required to meet certain specifications. This diagram outlines those requirements. As you can see, there's a minimum and a maximum for each text asset, and each text asset also has a character limit. It's also important to note special requirements for headline and description assets. You have to provide at least one short version of each of these. For example, you need to provide at least one headline with 15 characters or less. Images, on the other hand, may have minimum dimensions and maximum file size requirements. In addition, we provide recommended image dimensions for each asset field type. Each image asset field type has a minimum requirement. However, the maximum number of images you can supply is aggregated across images of the same type. You can provide a maximum total of 5 logos. In addition, a total aggregate of 20 image assets. Those are all the image assets that are not of type logo. Finally, providing a video is optional. However, we strongly recommend that you upload your own video assets. If you don't upload your own videos, Google can automatically create videos using text and image assets you provide. This way, you can still benefit from a wider reach across all Google networks. You can replace automatically created videos with your own videos at any time. I'll get into this in more detail, and Mattia will also discuss this in great detail in the best practices session later today, but there is an exception to these requirements. You can create asset groups in Performance Max campaigns for online sales with a product feed without any assets at all. In this case, Google will create assets from your Merchant Center feed that's linked to your campaign. Keep in mind, this is an all or none situation, meaning you either provide 0 assets or you have to meet all of the requirements. With that being said, we still recommend adding your own assets to asset groups even if it's not required. That way, you can help maximize the reach across all of Google Ads surfaces. A common question we get is, how many assets should I provide within the defined specifications? Generally speaking, we recommend adding the maximum number of assets allowed with as much variation as possible to allow Google AI to create better ads for the right users at the right time. The recommended column is really more of a minimum recommendation. You can use the Asset Performance Label field to see how different assets are performing. With that information, you can replace lower performing assets. However, we don't recommend removing low performing assets unless you're already at the max and have assets that you can replace those assets you're removing with. You should aim to provide Google AI with as many combinations as possible to learn for better performance.